Hello, I'm Juliet Grayson, and this is me talking about 52 weeks of noticing, questioning, and staying human together. Somehow, without a grand plan or a clear sense of where it would all lead, this has become the 50-second talk, a full year of musings. And I find myself pausing here, not with a sense of completion, but with a kind of quiet humility. Because when I write weekly about relationships, boundaries, conflicts, longing, and repair, I'm really writing about something far more elusive than theory. I'm writing about lived human experience as it unfolds and shifts and sometimes refuses to resolve itself neatly. And that's not something any of us ever fully master. Some of the topics I've looked at include the 6 human needs, introversion, the joy of missing out rather than the fear of missing out, the importance of staying steady within myself, vulnerability, politeness and authenticity, the importance of saying no, being arrogant, envy and jealousy, the relationship phases, the ideal, the ordeal, and the real deal. And also for new relationships, don't do anything in the first 30 days that you're not willing to do for the next 30 years. Nitpicking and being defensive. Mistakes that hold the seed to the repair. And then those 13 talks that I've just finished on boundaries. If anything, a year like this tends to reveal how much there is still to understand. One of the things I've noticed is that the more we talk about relationships, the more we're really talking about attention, what we notice, what we miss, what we assume, what we long for but struggle to say, and how quickly we move into protection when something feels uncertain or too close to the bone. It's striking how often the same themes return in different clothing. The wish to be seen without having to explain everything. The difficulty of saying no without guilt. The fear of saying yes and losing oneself. The moment conflict arises and something older gets activated underneath the present moment. None of this is fixed, it moves, it changes shape, depending on context, history, and emotional state. And perhaps that's one of the quieter learnings from a year like this. We're not dealing with the problems to be solved so much as the patterns to be recognized while they're happening. Recognition, more than resolution, often creates the first real shift. If you've followed these musings over time, then you've been part of a slow conversation rather than a series of conclusions. I'm genuinely aware that some weeks will have landed more than others, and some may have stirred disagreement, or recognition, or even discomfort. And that feels entirely appropriate. These are not ideas to agree with, so much as places to pause and reflect. So, as this 50-second talk arrives, I find myself with a few simple open questions rather than anything definitive. What have you noticed in yourself over this year? What has softened, if anything? What's become clearer or perhaps more complicated? Where do you still find yourself stuck in familiar patterns of reaction or protection? Where in my life am I adapting or being polite rather than truly authentic? What happens inside me when I say no to someone or when someone says no to me? Which relationships in my life feel steady and nourishing, and which leave me feeling anxious, defensive, or depleted? Where do I become defensive, critical, or nitpicking, and what vulnerability might sit underneath that? Am I building relationships based on who I really am, or on who I think I need to be in order to be loved? What kinds of mistakes or ruptures in my relationships have actually led to greater honesty, intimacy, or repair and brought more closeness? What would healthier boundaries look like and feel like in my life, not as walls or punishments, but as expressions of self-respect and care? And lastly, what feels quietly ready for more kindness or attention? If you feel inclined, I'd really welcome hearing from you, not as a judgment of the work, but as a part of the ongoing human conversation that it's always been about trying to join. Because none of us are doing this perfectly. We're all, in our own ways, learning how to stay a little more present with ourselves and with each other. To give feedback, then please go to https://bit.ly/Juliet Muses, JULIETMUSES. A whole year's gone by. Extraordinary. Take care.